Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Parish Construction and Roofing need an orthopedist. Go to Brock, need a roof. Call Parish. Fast. Good job. Unique physique, also unique aesthetics and wellness. Restored Motions, Bocock Brothers, link in the description on YouTube, tagged on Facebook, all that good stuff. Glad to have everybody aboard with us here. Welcome to your college football Saturday. You know, it's one of those days where you got a bunch of games where there's giant point spreads and maybe doesn't look like the best week. Doesn't look like the best week of games. But you know what typically happens? Is you have a week like this and everybody's got this sleepy little Saturday, right? And you have this sleepy little Saturday and everybody's expecting a bunch of blowouts, and then bam, that's when chaos happens. Typically, that's when chaos happens, when you're not expecting it. You're still talking about college athletes, young people who can go through the motions and get clipped. And I'll remind you, it was this weekend a year ago when Vandy beat Bama and Arkansas beat Tennessee. You had these massive upsets. So you typically see it on weekends like this when you're not expecting it. Fast. So we'll see, man. I think there are some heavy favorites that are ripe for the picking. I think Vandy can get it done again this year. Fast. Ain't gonna sneak up on Bama. Big letdown spot for Bama after the Georgia game. Vandy's been lying in wait. I'm gonna tell you, Vandy does the thing that Bama can't stop. Vandy runs the ball exceptionally well, and Bama's run defense is not good. Gave up 200 rush yards to Florida State with a running quarterback, 200 rush yards last week against Georgia. Wisconsin ran the ball against them. Telling you, man, just fast. Last time. Fast. I think Mississippi State could absolutely beat Texas A&M today. That's wild, like 15.5 or 16.5 point line. Absolutely think State can win that game. You got a couple of unranked teams favored over ranked teams. I like both of them, by the way. I like Cincinnati over Iowa State. Like Louisville over Virginia. So how about Clemson against North Carolina today? Dabo needing a win. Belichick. It's in Chapel Hill. Interesting day, man. Interesting day of games. So, also got in the description there, of course, by now I'm sure most people have seen the Kyren Lacy story. It's vindication for Kyren. Tragic as it is. Stayed up last night and I watched the full 44-minute video. For those who haven't seen, Kyren Lacy's attorney, Matt Ory, gave an interview on HTV 10 in Homa. And they said it's a 44-minute sit down where he pours over evidence that he was going to present. I mean, this isn't this isn't the attorney walking with his client after he's being released from jail saying, my client is innocent and we tend to prove it. This is all of the after discovery and all of the evidence that he was going to present in the case that he lays out here, including video of the wreck, which if you haven't seen it, Kyren Lacy was nearly 100 yards behind the wreck. So the way it was presented was Kyren was speeding, went to pass in a no-pass zone, was coming head-on with the vehicle in the other lane that swerved to avoid him and caused the wreck, which killed the 78-year-old man. That's how it was presented. That's a literal impossibility. Kyren Lacy was 100 yards behind the wreck, and video shows the wreck and then another car approaching, and then Kyren Lacy's car approaching. It's almost unfathomable with video evidence that this went the way that it did. And then, like, I think this is the wreck.
At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall. You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see Kyren Lacy come to a stop.
So as we've seen the video, it looks like the impact happens, and then Kyren Lacy is behind him. How far away was he from there?
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of the investigative report that I now have my hands on. We know from data that Kyren Lacy did, in fact, pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that. Further north, Kyren Lacy passed 4 cars. However, he was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards. Back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall. At the time of impact, he's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact. Keyword, behind the vehicles. That is not how this story was ever painted. Never.
The other, like, super crazy part, I go through this all in Locked on LSU. The other super crazy part is there's body cam footage of a state trooper going to interview a witness. And the witness is the man. So the cars that collided, there was a woman driving, which described as vehicle 2. And then there's the vehicle that Mr. Hall, the 70-year-old man who died, was in. Those are the 2 vehicles that collided. The woman in vehicle 2 swerved to avoid a gold truck. And the state trooper goes to the man who drives the gold truck, goes to his home. And the man who's driving the gold truck, well, says, I wasn't even speeding. And they have forensic data now that shows he was going like 28 miles an hour in a 35. So he was going under the speed limit. And the trooper is telling him, like, so you had to swerve to avoid you had to slam on your brakes to avoid the Charger that was coming head on, which is not the case. The Charger was 100 yards behind. And he says, I didn't slam on my brakes. I didn't skid mark or anything like that. And his on-camera testimony contradicts the police report, which is not signed. So basically, the witness there's this video testimony, and it contradicts the report, which leads you to believe the officer filled out that report, not signed by the witness, and it completely contradicts the witness statement. I mean, and to think all of this while Kyren was waiting on the draft, and it ultimately led to him taking his life. I mean, it's like disgustingly tragic on both ends. The man who died in the car wreck, and then Kyren as well, and everything. But okay. Let's say some good mornings. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Hey, Kelly, good morning. Wendell, good morning. Solar Flares, good morning. We got here. Sorry. Hold on, I missed one. Sergeant King, good morning. Rooney, good morning. Jeremy, which games are you looking forward to today? I mean, the morning slate kind of stinks, to be honest. I don't know that there's much in the 11 a.m. window that I'm actually looking forward to seeing. I definitely am probably most excited to see how that Vandy Bama game plays out. Iowa State Cincinnati is the one that I got to play on early. I have the under in Wisconsin. Oh, you know what? I need to send out Otter Locks. Hang on, do that. There it is. So we got a bunch of plays in these early games. Cincinnati under in Wisconsin, Michigan. Purdue 8.5. I think one of the Otter Locks had to play on Kansas State. There's a lot of so we got Virginia Tech. So a lot of plays in the early windows. 2:30 is going to be interesting because you got Texas, Florida, Vandy, Alabama, Boise State, Notre Dame, which will probably be a blowout, and you got Louisville, Virginia, which got to play on Louisville. So, got a lot there. And then tonight, I mean, the one I'm most looking forward to tonight, obviously, is going to be Florida State, Miami. I do think Florida State's going to win that game. And then Texas A&M, Mississippi State. So I'll have both those on tonight. So, but the 11 a.m. window, I got a lot of plays in the 11 a.m. window, but just not a lot of games that are super interesting. Let's see. Chattahoochee Chief, thanks, Matt, for your video covering Kyren. Of course. I mean, I can't say that like I was super close to Kyren, but I knew Kyren. And he did, I think we talked about he did a few NIL deals, and part of those NIL deals was him coming on the show, the deal he did with Duplessis. He did deal with Gordon. And it was Duplessis deal. They worked in several appearances, I think maybe 3 or 4 appearances on AFR. And I went and did, a sit down with him at, on site at a pool. And, he just really struck me as a good-natured young guy, a guy that was trying really hard. Who is that? Oh, Fitz, Phil. Phil Steele? Boo. Okay. What do you want, buddy? What do you want, buddy? What's that? You want Phil Steele? Okay. I watch Phil Steele videos. Phil Steele. There you go. There you go. Phil Steele plus tour up for you early. Phil Steele. Anyway, I think Brian Kelly, I think said it well. Kyren was a guy who was making progress in his maturation as a young person, who clearly also had, as his father said, check on your kids, meaning their mental health. It just didn't have to go this way. Hey, Thomas, Shabbat Shalom. Go Vandy. Yes, sir. David, good morning. Tim, good morning. Jalen, good morning. We're all alive, enjoying the day. Need to live like Drew and be happy. Amen to that. If only we could all be that happy. Of course. Hey, Leon, good morning. Chance, which of these two are more stubborn? Les Miles changing the offense and us running the ball? Les. Ethan, good morning. Organic and inorganic beings. What would be an inorganic being? Billy Weeks, good morning, Matt. And Drew, hope y'all have a great day. Excellent job on the Lacy video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Y'all please share it. I mean, YouTube or podcast. I did a Locked On last night, so I watched the full 44-minute interview with Matt Orey, Kyren Lacy's attorney, and then I did my best to, because I just know most people are not going to watch a 44-minute video. That's just reality. So I did my best to like watch it, extrapolate the things that were probably the most important to explain. And but there's some really moving stuff in there. I mean, Matt Orey talks about, sharing all this with Kyren's family, and there's a lot of tears, as you would imagine. But I would also imagine that it was in some way validating, maybe gives them a degree of peace. I think it could be an upset weekend. I really do. Hey, Brad, good morning. You sound really upset about Erica's decorations blocking the chair. Not the, it's the, I wish I could go show you all this. She's not here, so I could probably bring all this stuff in there and show you. That's kind of messy in there, whatever. But it's like, you can't sit at one of the bar stools in our kitchen ever, because there's always some decorative setting in front of this spot. So it's like, why do we even have this space? Just a waste of space. Tiger Poppy, good morning. Debo, what's good? Why is Caleb Jackson still, we don't want to use him? Okay, baby. I'll come back and talk about Caleb in just a second. Good is sweet. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel. So, about Caleb, I think Caleb would have been awesome, like in Les Miles' offense. If you were looking like a power back with a full back, getting a 5-yard running head start, his physical running style, I think he'd have been perfect in that system. When Caleb Jackson has space to get his legs moving is when I think he's at his best. 2 games ago against Southeastern, they threw him a little dump pass, and he had a seam, and he got upfield about 5 yards and trucked the linebacker. The game last week against Ole Miss, they ran the draw play on 3rd and 20, and he was able to get a lane, and he ran for 10 yards. I think out of the shotgun and the offset eye, when his first step is lateral to take the handoff instead of vertical, and with a line that isn't doing a great job of creating space, and you have to move a little bit, that's not his strength. His strength is one cut and get up the field and be a power back, head north and south. Not, I think the first play of the season when Caden Durham took the handoff left side and then reversed field and ran for 24 yards, like Caleb Jackson will never be that type of runner. And so when he gets to the line and has to stop, he doesn't get started again. I think it's just stylistic. Like if they would put Nuss under center and either have him as a single back or out of the eye, I'm sure, or with a fullback. I think he could be really effective. I just don't think he's effective in this offense. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a good dude who's worked really hard. He's got himself in shape. I just think his skill set doesn't fit this offense. Hey, Brennan, good morning. Tiger Poppy, good morning. Luke Chance, good morning. Whose offense is worse, LSU or the Saints? Probably. Well, the Saints can run the ball. Saints are 10th in the NFL in rushing offense right now. Hey, Devin, good morning. If LSU doesn't put up 24 points against South Carolina, should our expect change? Yeah. I mean, I think I had to reassess after Ole Miss, like I told you I would, because that Ole Miss defense is bad. Like that's the thing that I think you're going to continue to see as the season goes along. Like that is a bad Ole Miss defense. Like it wasn't a fluke that they were in a dogfight against Kentucky and they gave up 500 yards to Arkansas. Like that's not a good defense. And LSU missed a ton of opportunities. The deep ball to Xavion, the deep ball to Chris Hilton, the pass to Xavion on the sideline. I mean, it would have been an 80-yard touchdown. I mean, they had massive plays they didn't execute for whatever reason. Nuss's torso, whatever, poor blocking, some misfortune, whatever. I mean, Sloan's in unwillingness to call runs, whatever. I mean, whatever it is, there were plays there to be had, and you didn't make them. It wasn't because Ole Miss was dominating you. It was you missed opportunities. Hey, Thomas, good morning. I'll talk about LSU's lack of running game. If I remember, they were 50-50 run pass against Clemson. It was said they were committing to the run. What happened? I can't help but so a year ago, Thomas, they were 60-40 pass run. Up until this game, they were 55-45. So they were running more. And then against Ole Miss, it went away. And perhaps it's because you were down 2 linemen and Caden Durham. I mean, let's not forget that piece of it. And that might have been why. I don't know. We don't get to talk to Joe Sloan. I don't get to ask him that. Anthony, read somewhere from Mike Scarborough, Nuss hasn't really been hurt for a while. I saw Mike's tweet. Listen, I don't know. Look, Mike's editorializing. He's entitled to his opinion. And his tweet was that basically that it's not the injury, which y'all know that's been my opinion. So Mike and I share that opinion. But it's more he went into a lot that Nuss didn't work with receivers, didn't use VR like Jaden did, and maybe all that's true. I can't add anything to that. I don't know. Heart is broken behind Lacy. Sorry, I'm trying to mute so you don't hear me clear my throat. Not human. Okay. Got it. Thomas, day 14. Yes, sir. Morning, Scone. You said if BK doesn't get to the playoffs this year, you don't think it'll happen for him at LSU. Do you think if we don't make it this year and next year, LSU move on from BK? I think the point I've made is you're all in this year, and next year I think it is logical to think you take a step back. You're going to a 9-game league schedule. You're losing Nussmeier. You're losing all these transfers. I think it is logical to assume you will take a step back. Very good. You're good. So what I'm saying is, if this year is disappointing and then you take a step back next year, then I wonder, like, are they looking for the exit strategy at that point? That's what I've pretty consistently said. Podcast guy slamming us for not preparing all summer. All I saw was, I think, a tweet that people were sharing from Mike Scarborough. I didn't hear what he said or any more context than that, so I can't provide anything. Like, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't have anything. I just don't have anything to add to that. All proven facts. Why so long, though? About Kyren. So remember, in that video, just to be clear, Matt Ory, the attorney, said that he spoke at Kyren's funeral as well. He said, I needed Kyren to hang on for one more day. So that Monday, so Kyren died it was a Saturday night, Sunday, early hours, Sunday morning. Kyren was going to be in court with this case being heard by a grand jury. And Matt Ory was going to present all of this then. So when Kyren died, there was you're not going to litigate a case against someone who's deceased. So why now is he doing the interview to disclose all? I don't know. But that I don't know. But suffice to say, like, this would have come up in the grand jury hearing. And I know I explained this in the Locked On episode, which I would encourage. It's 24 minutes or so if you want to go listen to. But or watch it. But a grand jury indictment. Remember, that's not a conviction. A grand jury only basically, I'm oversimplifying this, but determines if there's enough evidence to proceed to trial. That's what an indictment is from a grand jury. It's just to say, is there sufficient evidence here to take this to trial? And given what we've all seen, what likely would have happened is the grand jury would have seen that video and said, 100 yards behind the wreck, he had nothing to do with it. And they would have dismissed it. That's likely what would have happened. During our LSU bye week, are you going to have a whiskey and wine type college football wrap tonight? I wasn't planning on it, Tiger Poppy, but if there's something worth doing, I will. If Bama loses to Vanderbilt again. Thomas, Debo, it was pushed. He helped that man die. I'm not mad at his family. They only went off with the media pushed and what the officers tried to push. Oh, you mean from the from Mr. Hall? Yeah, I mean, at that point they hadn't. And by the way, Matt Ory said he had also spoken to the Hall family as well. There's no. Two families lost loved ones. It's a terrible, tragic situation. But real quick, this person said dirty cop caused the whole thing. So not exactly. Remember, state police took over the investigation, and that's the body cam footage is a state trooper. But the Lafourche Parish district attorney had to bring charges and did so. And that's not state police, that's Lafourche Parish. So you had two different entities here that both got it wrong. And there should absolutely, if there hasn't been already, be an investigation into the state trooper with the police report. Because again, now the other thing too is in the body cam footage, it's a 4-minute clip, but Matt Ory also says the audio was turned off for 4 minutes before that. So like what is said that we don't see or hear? So there is an unknown there. But I would agree with you all that I think we would all agree, wouldn't we? I mean, as a concerned citizen, if you put yourself in that situation and go, what if that was me or my loved one? Wouldn't you want an answer as to what happened there? Like, why is a witness on camera, on a body cam from a state trooper saying one thing, and what he says is not in any way what's reflected in the incident report? Like, that's a problem. That's a problem. And that the necessary authorities need to discover why there's that contradiction. Philip, it is, man. We should, man. I mean, imagine his poor parents. Like, oh my God. Spurge praying for the Lacy family story isn't over. Also, Tiger Diver. I do. Otterlocks is live. Hang on one second. I'll post Otterlocks in the chat here. Please smash the like button if you would subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like the page, share the post. As always, shout out to Brock. Remember, if you need orthopedist, after hours clinic is open nights and weekends. Parish Construction and Roofing, we'd love to help you out. Good, we. roof repairs, replacement from claim to cleanup. Parishbuilt.com. Parishbuilt.com. Go this way. Hey, Rick. Good morning. The situation with Kyren Lacy is messed up. Prayers for his family. Hopefully they find some type of justice. Hey, Austin. Good morning. A lot of people rush to judgment, call Kyren a killer. They owe the family an apology. I mean, it was my initial reaction. So this story broke while I was on the air. So obviously did not have time to watch the entirety of the video, the 44 minutes. I mean, it was on air. But initially saw the crash video where the crash happens, and then several seconds later, a car approaches, and then a second car approaches, which was Kyren. I mean, the way the accident was presented was 2-lane highway, 35 miles an hour, no pass zone. Kyren goes to pass in a no pass zone. He's now facing oncoming traffic, which had to swerve to avoid him. Impact, which killed Mr. Hall, and then Kyren sped off. That's what was presented. Clearly, it's not even an opinion. That's not what we see. There's video of it. That's not what happened. He's 100 yards behind the accident. So Go Tiger said, man in the gold truck was in front of the Charger. In a literal sense, yes, but not closely in front of the Charger. Like, Kyren's not even involved, is the point. There's another vehicle. There was 2 Kias. In the description, if you watch it, it's vehicle 2. Well, vehicle 2 is following the gold truck. And truthfully, the woman in vehicle 2 is who's at fault. Wasn't paying attention, whatever. They go through all the forensics of, like, at the speed she was going, she didn't begin to brake or correct until a half a second before impact. And she took a sharp 75-degree turn. That's what to avoid the man in the gold truck. And so what the state trooper was saying is to the gold truck driver, oh, you had to slam on your brakes, but he didn't. All the forensics show he was going 28 miles an hour and never slammed on his brake. So, like, he was traveling below the speed limit. He was not paying attention. I'm deducing this, by the way. Clearly, when you watch all this, what happened is she's driving. She says in her statement she's eating her Funyuns, listening to her music. She's driving, not paying attention. When she realizes she's about to hit him, she makes a sharp correction, at what time she hits Mr. Hall's vehicle. Like, the woman in vehicle 2 is the one who's at fault. She's the one who created the impact, and she created the impact because she wasn't paying attention and swerved to avoid the gold truck, who wasn't even speeding. That's the man in the testimony who's saying, man, I didn't brake, I didn't skid mark or anything. And they have the forensic data, which shows he was going 28 miles an hour. Like, he wasn't speeding. Crazy. And this is why it's as hard as it is to do. Like, Erica. It's why there's always. Way to go, no big pick, Erica. It's why there is a presumption of innocence until guilt can be proven. Because if you didn't presume innocence and have to prove guilt, if someone had to prove they were innocent, then we could accuse anybody of anything anytime. It's like, okay, you did this, now prove you didn't. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't do anything. You have to prove I did. The burden of proof falls on the accuser. That's why you have, there's. Hey, Alex, good morning. Go Tigers. Did he pull a gun on family members in Houston? So they talk about that as well. First of all, they talk about this in the video. Matt Ory talks about the situation where Kyren killed himself. He pulled a gun on family members to get his keys. He was in and again, you can go watch the video if you want to, and you can make your own decision. The day that Kyren died, they describe this. He was clearly distressed and had made up his mind that he was going to take his life. His family members knew this, and he was demanding they took his keys from him. He's demanding they give him the keys, and they're not going to do it because they know what's going to happen. So he fires a gun. They talk about this. He fires a shot into the ground, basically as a warning to say, like, this is happening, and it's either happening right here in front of you, or you're giving me my keys, and I'm going. They give him the keys. They make a distressed 911 call. Police go to seek Kyren, obviously, and then that's when he shot himself. Again, don't change a narrative to fit whatever you want it to be. Like, there's plenty of people who have spoken on the record. There's plenty of data as to what happened. Craig, good morning. Manny, good morning. Sean, good morning. Murray, why haven't we been hearing about Nuss doing the VR reps like Daniels? I don't know that he didn't do VR reps like Daniels. As a matter of fact, Brian Kelly said this week he did. I mean, Scarborough put out whatever he did, which I don't know if it was a tweet or whatever it was, but saying he's out of shape and didn't do the VR, like all that stuff. Brian Kelly said this week that that's what they have Nuss doing while he's resting. He's doing the VR stuff. Like, literally said that by name. Over the summer, I don't know. Did he, didn't he? I don't know. Let's ask Garrett Nussmeier, or let's ask people on staff. Hang on. Y'all going back and forth. Hope everyone who trash talked at them. Let's see. We got a football one. Jeffrey, how do you feel about Vandy and the points? I love Vandy and the points. I don't, and this isn't just my Bama's burning bit. Like, if you watch Vandy, that's a better team this year than they were a year ago. Now, they're not sneaking up on Bama. I also think, though, for Bama, this is a giant letdown spot. They just went on the road and played a really physical game and won at Georgia. Can you get up 2 weeks in a row? Now, they're at home, but I think Vandy's secondary is their weakness, and Bama can make plays through the air. However, I think Bama's run defense is not very good, and Vandy is excellent at running the football. So if you're watching that game, that's the thing to keep an eye on. Can Vandy run the football? If Vandy's establishing the run, like, they're going to be in for a fight. But I love Vandy in the points. I love Mississippi State in the points at Texas A&M in this game tonight. And I would not be surprised if either of those teams won those games outright. Went to make my place for. Oh, that stinks. Rocky, sick all over again about Kyren. Should be, man. Should be. Scott said it looks like the DA needs to resign. To be very clear, I got the sense in listening and I'll go back again. I'll go back again and rewatch that part. But it kind of sounded like he didn't have a gripe with the Lafourche Parish district. I need to go back and rewatch that part. Yeah, I just explained that. Or maybe your comment was way before. So anyway, I explained that. But again, if you would take the time to go watch the video in its entirety in 44 minutes to talk about that. But up to you. Let's see. Let me go here to some recent ones. I'm like 30 minutes behind. Christopher, if LSU wins out, where do you think they'll be ranked? If LSU wins out, top 5, depending on what the rest of the country looks like. I mean, if they finish 11-1 and they win at Bama, at Oklahoma, A&M, 11-1 with their only loss on the road against Ole Miss in a 5-point game. I mean, they'll be in the SEC championship game too. Now I don't know. I don't know that they're going to win out. I'd love it if they did. Let's see. BK double triple down on the offense. Being bad after the Florida game. Anybody with 2 eyes knew face real competition would lose. Jordan, criminal defense attorney. This is not uncommon. Never forget, bro. You can get yours at 929 Misfits. Oh, you know what else we have at 929 Misfits right now? Hang on. I'll show y'all. I need to get this one. It's a run the ball tee. It says run the ball. Hang on. Where can I put this? Is it this one? Hang on. Let me see. Let me see if this will do it. Where's my... what? Where'd it go? Oh, well. It's not letting me show you the file. Yeah, whatever. I was going to oh, well, let me do it this way. I can do it this way. Hang on. This is not ideal, but let me do it this way. I got to get one on the ball. Let's see. I want to start with the old Tiger Head logo. You mean like the helmet logo? Hi, baby. What? America. All right. Well, hang on. I'll post the run the ball link in here for anybody who's interested. Some of y'all are saying you want it. There's purple and gold here. There it is. If y'all are interested. How do you think LSU can fix and run the ball effectively? I mean, so y'all, I know. I mean, Chris, I've said this in so many different ways. I don't even know how to say it any other way at this point. Like first of all, you've got to commit to running the ball. Like you've got to be willing to do it. I mean, against Ole Miss, there's only 2 times the entire game where they ran the ball in consecutive plays. Like, I think Cole Kubelik was right when he said it over the summer. Like, you can't not as double negative. Like, you can't function in an offense where you don't run the football. And then when you need to, just assume you're going to be able to. You have to be able to, like, consistently do it. Aaron Murray, McElroy, Lofsky said Nuss looks injured. So, by the way, Rohan Davey, Mike Delicano were all on Jimmy Out's Football Sunday last week saying he doesn't look injured. So which point? And I don't see the wincing and pain thing when he throws. I think people like you who want to believe that's the thing. Again, you're just going to look for confirmation bias. That's a thing. We all do it. But you look for confirmation bias. What are the things that support my argument? Then you highlight those and you ignore anything to the contrary. I'm not saying you specifically, Gulf South. I'm saying like plural, right? We, all of us. I think that's what you're looking like. I can find things that I just told you things to the contrary. Let's see. Do you think David Pavi could play at the next level? No, I do not, which is why he's still in college, and it's very smart of him. That's why he went and got the injunction to be able to play this year, make sure his JUCO year didn't count against this, because he's a seven-figure college quarterback. He can win games and make Vanderbilt relevant and generate revenue and all this stuff, but he'll never be an NFL player. So if he can stay in college as long as he possibly can, that's where his value is. That's why all these guys are staying in college longer, because they can make real money in college, NIL, rev share, all that stuff. Whereas if they go to the NFL, the odds of making in the NFL are slim. And if you're on an undrafted free agent rookie deal where you don't even have a guaranteed salary in training camp, yeah, I get why they want to stay in college. If Nuss isn't taking first team reps in practice, wouldn't that disrupt chemistry on field? No, you're talking about 1 week, man. And like, he's been the starting quarterback now for 2 years. Like, I think he's fine. Like, to miss a week of practice to rest. Now, what were y'all going back? I'm scrolling. What are y'all going back and forth about? Just real quick, the media is 100% at fault. Go Tigers. Just real quick, so you understand. If someone is arrested and a police report is filed, that is newsworthy, and you report those facts, which that Kyren Lacy was arrested, and you have a police report, which is a piece of evidence. It's in the public domain as evidence. So reporting those things don't make the media at fault. The problem is the investigation clearly was lacking. They very clearly got the wrong guy. Like, reporting what is a known fact is just the job you do as a reporter. Like, there was a police report, which was wrong. The video hadn't been released as of yet. Kyren Lacy was arrested. Those are facts that were reported. It doesn't make the media wrong for reporting facts. The investigators did a poor job, and people rushed to judgment based on his arrest. Let's see. Whoops. All right, y'all. Let's bounce. Been here for almost an hour. We get Drew dressed, go on our gonna go on our elevator ride, and get back and watch some of the early games on this slate. So gonna have a good day. No LSU game, a little low key, low stress day, watch some football, and hopefully enjoy your families and all that stuff. So that's. All right, y'all. Do me a favor, please smash that like button. Oh, Thomas. We almost did it again, Thomas.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
All right. Remember, all of our sponsors are linked in the description on YouTube. I've got them tagged on Facebook as well. Brock, Parrish, Unique Physique, but also Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. We're going to start telling you about them. Unique Physique are the GLP-1s, right? Semaglutide, tirzepatide, the weight loss shots. Which I would highly recommend for anybody. I know there's a lot of stigma with that. I don't get it. It's peptides. They're helping people with diabetes, helping people lose weight, be healthier. Like, I don't get the stigma. Anyway, Unique Physique, but also Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. It's in Baton Rouge. So the clinic is like 3-in-1. There's Goodwood, which is the men's clinic. There's Unique Physique, which is the GLP-1s. And then there's Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. That's Botox and laser hair removal and skincare and laser therapies and facials and all that sort of stuff. Body contouring. They have all that stuff. So an $8 unit Botox. So, man, if you don't use Botox, your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance do, let them know. $8 unit Botox at Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. Like, that's the lowest price you'll find anywhere. Like, literally. So, all right, y'all have an awesome day. See you. Peace.